I want to talk about something, and I'm pretty interested in what you guys think about it. But it all has to do with promoting products, because I didn't start a channel to promote products for companies or to feel like I was somehow trying to influence people in terms of what brand or specific model of gear they're using. Ultimately, to me, and you got to take this, let me explain this first, but I don't really care what kind of gear you use. I don't care what kind of gear my friends use. I care that it's the right gear for them. I have preferences more to do with how something is, how it works with my preferences, what I do, and all of those different factors. So, for one person, a tent might be, a standard freestanding tent might be the ideal thing for them. And then whether or not it's a good tent in terms of different features, I don't know. But honestly, when I go out on a trip with friends, I'm curious what they're using, why they use it, what they like about it, what they don't like about it. But I don't really care insofar as we get our trip done and everyone's kind of happy about it. When you start talking about gear, people start to ask you what you're using, if it's good, would you recommend it? And like it or not, you are doing kind of promotional work for companies, and they like it. From my point of view, at some point I was like, well, I'm talking about certain gear, and I feel like the companies or the brands that I'm talking about are kind of getting the upper hand, or they're getting more out of the deal than I am because I paid for the gear. So way back, maybe 2 years ago, I reached out to a few companies, gear that companies and brands that I use their gear and I like their gear. And I said, I have a YouTube channel, it's gaining, more and more people are seeing the videos. Is there any way we could collaborate? So, one of those was a big company that I've always kind of looked up to. And we hashed something out. There was zero agreement in terms of that I would be, what I had to do. Like there wasn't like, you have to make a video for this and it has to be this long. And we're expecting, one full-length video talking about the piece of gear. And then we're expecting it in X number of videos. Oh, and we also want pictures, blah, 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 all kinds of, there was zero expectations. I just said, I generally speaking use your gear. There's other pieces that I could incorporate in my system and I'd use them and then they'd be in my videos. I feel like it would be win-win. I go through a lot of gear. I do a lot of different things. So, having a warmer sleeping bag for the winter is a huge advantage to me. But then something changes along the way, and something did change. And I started to notice a shift. And that was, first of all, getting more and more requests from companies through my YouTube channel. There's an email address on my About page of the YouTube channel, and you can get in touch with me. And I really have it there mostly in case, people who watch my channel want to get in touch with me, want to ask me a specific question or whatever, and that happens occasionally. It's pretty rare, but it does happen. But I've started to get a massive amount of emails saying, hey, we're company X, could we send you whatever and you could do a review of it? You can look on my channel and see that, I did agree, I did some of them. One of them was the Flextail Zero pump. That was, I think, the first one. And that really fits with the channel. There's no question that is a fit with the kind of gear that I might use or have a certain perspective on. The other, not long after that, was a Blue Eddy battery bank and charger. I thought about it, I spoke to my wife, and I was like, does this really fit with my channel? Do I want to be doing that and kind of taking time and basically advertising for them? And I thought, well, I've never used one of these big power supply, rechargeable battery banks, portable, they call them electric portable generators. I don't know what you call them. So I said, yeah, you know, I'll do it. And they said, well, we'd want you to do first review and then later an integration. They call that an integration, when you have a video and then at some segment you either show that you use it or you talk about it or whatever. And I was like, I can definitely do the first one, but I haven't done the second one yet. And there's no formal signature. I don't have a contract or anything. It's just by email saying, yeah, I'll do that. But then, and I did that. And if you look at that video, you know, it doesn't get much traction. People aren't very interested in it. What's different between a Blue Eddy rechargeable battery bank or one from Jackery or anything? They're all the same. They're just big rechargeable batteries. They're fine. I guess maybe somehow are higher quality than others. I don't know, but they all seem the same to me. They're all about the same price. They're probably all made in the same factory. The number of requests have just started to pile in. I have hundreds of emails from warming, like battery operated gloves to cheap camping gear to all kinds of stuff. Temu, it's usually very generic. Hello, sir. We love your channel and we think that your audience would really appreciate a review or a video about this. Which I doubt, because most of it's junk. Most of it doesn't really fit into what my channel is, or it is kind of vaguely. But the requests have gotten more and more pushy. It's gone from, we'll send you some gear if you could do a review, to, will you promote our product? And I'm not a salesperson. I'm terrible at sales. I don't like pushing things. It makes me feel uncomfortable inside. So basically, I'm at the point now where I'm just gonna stop doing almost all of that kind of stuff where I get something for free and then make a video about it. You know, I have some that I have left to kind of wrap up that I made commitments to. There's the Black Diamond Betalite backpack. Black Diamond sent me a new headlamp that is one of their trail running headlamps. I definitely feel a little bit like you can't give 100% no holds back review or criticism when you're like, why is it this way? So I am gonna give my truly honest review on the products that I have to do or I've made commitments on, but I'm not gonna be taking things like that really anymore. On the rare occasion that something truly fits into the kind of stuff that I need or use, but basically I have everything I need. I have all the gear I need. I don't need another tent. I've had requests to review sleeping bags, to review ground pads, and I have all the sleeping bags I'll need for years. I have all the ground pads I'll need for years. I don't really have any interest in testing the difference between you know, a Thermarest ground pad and a Nemo ground pad. There's tons of people who do a great job of that, and that's their thing. And I'm certainly not criticizing anyone who does reviews, and especially the ones that are very in-depth comparisons. It's like when Backpacker magazine used to have the annual gear guide. It's very useful for some people. It just doesn't interest me. I like to go out and do a trip and have a good time, experience it. I'm more interested in technique than gear. You know, what backpack you bring, or what backpack I'm using. It's a bag with straps. As long as it fits all my gear, I'm happy. There's been some pretty big controversies, especially in the camera world recently, with a company called Insta360, that it turns out they were trying to kind of hide that they were giving the cameras to people or potentially even paying them to do sort of, they call them these embargo videos, where on the release date, everyone puts out a video and it's supposed to be a review, but it's actually promotion. I'm just gonna stay more and more away from that. When there's things that really interest me, that either a piece of gear or a person with a really small company, that's, I think, a slightly different story, because it's more of a community thing. There's a company called Sulik46. He sent me a really cool saw that I used, a buddy of mine saw, and he sent me one. I have no issue kind of promoting that, because I'm not getting any real financial incentive out of that. And I would love to help a little company and an adventurer. The guy that runs Sulik46 is pretty cool. He does some pretty amazing adventures and YouTube videos and all of that. So that's slightly different. My friend, acquaintance, that runs Gear Trade, the company that I made a sort of an interview about, Jesse, that's a different story too. I got nothing out of that. It was just fun for me. So if it's fun for me, I'll do it. If it's not, I won't. You have to think about how things used to be. There used to be magazines. There used to be, it used to be more to do with, you'd go into a store and whatever the store carried and whatever the staff recommended is what people bought. And now that doesn't work as well. I think companies are kind of scrambling for ways to market and promote their products, and the people who are there to do it are people who have, an audience on YouTube, an audience on Instagram. But it definitely rubs people the wrong way sometimes. I can tell every now and then. I've put something up on my Instagram and tagged a product, and it just people don't like it, because generally speaking, my Instagram is just my friends and family and some people that migrate over from YouTube and follow that. But it's not, I don't do Instagram like I do YouTube. So, that's everything. It's just a bunch of thoughts. Again, super interested in knowing what you guys think about companies, kind of using channels, YouTubers, small YouTubers, and kind of taking advantage of them in a way, because it is very flattering, or at least you feel like it's flattering at first when a company says, oh yeah, we'll send you this. We love your channel. We'll send you this free gear. But the reality is that it's very cheap promotion for them. And, for me, it takes hours to make a video. And I don't feel super comfortable with it all the time. So that's all I got for now. If you're interested where I am, it's pretty cool. It's a nice evening. Show you guys around. I'm up on a real local peak here called Hart Mountain, very close to Calgary. It's the evening and sunset's coming. I just hiked up here. So you got Canmore and the Bow Valley down there. That's looking northwest. Over to the east is Calgary, and just some nice little mountains to climb on here.